Okay, everybody, let's crack on with the final session today. In a sense, I'm going to bring us full circle. We started out this morning by asking a couple of local organic businesses to talk about what they were doing and what their experiences were. I'm going to come back to that quite local theme and ask two businesses based in Manchester to really talk about where they are and where they think that things are going. I think these businesses are probably quite well known to you already. Unicorn Grocery, Dan Monk's speaking for them. And of course, the Kindling Trust we heard from this morning, and Helen will be speaking. So I think without further ado, I'll give you Dan Monk's.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Just been told to keep this brief, so I'm going to try and whiz through a kind of very brief introduction to who we are and what we do. Do you have a PowerPoint? So Unicorn is situated just, can I move that? I can hear myself, sorry. Just down the road in Chorlton. We opened in 1996. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary this year. We think of ourselves as an ingredient shop first and foremost. So we have a big provision of fruit and veg, which I'll probably talk the most about. But we also have a bulk buying approach. We buy commodities, we pack them down in house, we have branded and a little bit of household as well. But predominantly it's a fruit and veg, sort of greengrocer shop. I had, for anyone unfamiliar, just done a brief introduction to worker co-ops, but I'll keep that very, very brief. Basically, we have no bosses, no board, no management. We are all paid the same, and we all have an equal say. So we're quite evangelical about this as a form of organising because it results in a very motivated, engaged workforce that have shared values, I guess. Yeah. So our fruit and veg. It's the sort of star of the show at Unicorn, and we've recently renovated the shop. We've opened a massive new wing or sort of portion, which has all expanded our fruit and veg area. So it is something that we are looking to increase over the years to come, and it's yeah, so really, really unique, I think. I certainly don't know of any other shops in the UK that are doing something on our scale. Yeah, what else to say? Supporting organic agriculture is really fundamental to what we believe we're doing. So we want to cultivate really good relationships with growers. We buy directly from growers. And we focus our offer heavily on what's available locally and seasonally. Yeah, so we want to present a viable alternative to shopping at one of the big multiple supermarkets. It's not always that easy to achieve, but that's kind of our aim. And we have a heavy focus on affordability. So we don't want to be perceived as a kind of posh or fancy, for want of a better word, I don't know, just yeah, like but so we look heavily at the prices of supermarkets, and saying that, it is a very high quality of produce that we're selling, and it's incredibly fresh as well. So yeah, we sort of masquerade a lot as a supermarket, and we pretend that we want to be seen just like a normal supermarket, but we do differ crucially in certain things. So we buy direct. I'm sorry, you won't be able to read this, but it's just to give an indication, and it's by no means an exhaustive list, but this is some of the farms that we buy direct from in the UK. They don't deliver into Unicorn, and we can get this, you know, it's quite often coming off a van and then straight onto the shelves within minutes. So obviously there's an advantage of freshness and quality. There's fewer food miles, which is great, but more than anything, it's this direct relationship with growers that we think is the most valuable thing. We talk to them every day. We hear about the difficulties, their successes, the kind of, mostly it is struggles, I have to say, rather than positive things, but we're able to identify gaps as well in the market with them. So we crop plan every year with our most local growers. We identify crops that could be good for, you know, up and coming market gardens, stuff that they can make a bit of money on that we would otherwise be importing. A really good example of this is celery that we're getting from Farm Start at the moment. This time last year, we were importing celery from Spain. So it's great to have a local supply. Stuart actually, who is here, he does our procurement and he does a lot of talking to growers and looking for these opportunities. And we think it's a really valuable way to, grow the market, I guess. Pricing. So a little bit about pricing. I said before, we aim to be affordable. We're constantly looking at the prices of stuff in the supermarkets. We don't want to compete with the absolute rock bottom. We don't think it's viable to charge 39 pence for a kilogram of carrots, but at the same time, it's not enough to be as or sort of cheaper than Waitrose. We've got to be on a par, certainly with organic prices. We would not want to be beaten by any of the supermarket organic prices. And the last thing I think that really marks us apart is packaging. You saw on one of the slides, the Gleveland salad mix. I think that is our kind of hero product of what we sell, or the thing that we champion the most. It comes 3 times a week from a farm a couple of miles down the road, and it's loose salad leaves. You can take as much or as little as you like. It's beautifully fresh. We have things like pick and mix kales. We sell loads of different varieties of apples and potatoes, the same, all priced the same, so you can just take what you want. So a little bit about sales. You can see this is just sales on fruit and veg since 2014, which obviously peaked in 2019. Last year was quite a difficult year in lots of ways. But just sort of some indication of what this means in volumes. So we sell a lot of stuff. So we can sell over 2 tons of potatoes in a week. We can sell 1.5 tons of apples, 900 cauliflowers. Like it's a lot. It's a huge volume of stuff that we're selling. So how, I guess, we've done this and grown this customer base comes a lot down to how we talk to our customers, the sort of approach we take. We're very upbeat. We always focus on the positive. There's a lot of sort of difficult topics or, quite pessimistic things that we could focus on, but we choose not to. We're very inclusive and approachable and friendly. We're not cool or in any way sort of fashionable, but we try to be as informative as we can, and just very enthusiastic. So I've got some examples. This is just a nice picture that we took. This is just in the shop, but trying to elevate it, I think, and see it as a kind of as an art form, which I think it is. We have seasonal highlights and special days. So we have an apple day every year. This is a poster that we drew for one of them. We write a weekly veg news, and one member of the veg team, which is a really nice way to inform our customers of what's going on and keep them up to date. We assume very little knowledge on their behalf. Good things are sort of, stuff that it's at its peak that is available year round. So to talk about UK courgettes or the difference between true and perpetual spinach, and just little snippets that we hear from our growers, and pictures of the produce that's coming in. In fact, incidentally, all the pictures in this are taken just on the shop floor or in our warehouse, stuff that comes in. We want people to feel excited, basically, about being able to buy this food and see the real value and difference in shopping somewhere like Unicorn above one of the supermarkets. This is some nice colouring in sheets that we offer as 3 therapy in the shop. Reaching out to our older customers. This was a scheme we had with Glynis, who's the woman in the picture, runs a company called Chorlton Bike Deliveries. So we did this incredibly inefficient system of people would email me their shopping, I would do their shopping, and Glynis would drop it off at their house. But nice to still be able to reach these sort of, we're aware that a lot of our customers are not on social media or particularly tech savvy. So the future, which is quite a difficult thing to talk about. And I'd say, whilst Unicorn is far from perfect, we really do think it offers a pretty good working sort of solution to a lot of the issues we think there are in the food system at the moment. And we just want more. People are constantly saying to us, there should be more unicorns. We want more unicorns. And whilst we agree, it's nothing short of a full-time job for all of us to just keep this one going. So we've written a grocery guide, and then we'd be very supportive and encouraging of other people doing similar things, but we think there's massive appetite and scope for there to be more shops like ours that follow a similar model to ours. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Perfect, Dan. Thank you. We'll just take one question from the chat and then we'll move very swiftly on to Helen. And the question is from Mick. So can you share your pricing with other organic farms? He's particularly interested in your comparison board.
Yes. Can we share?
The question is, can you share your pricing with other organic farms? Particularly interested in your comparison board.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's a question of whether, in principle, you'd be
oh well, yeah,
share that
we
information.
share everything. And nothing is. The whole point is to try and replicate this more and more. We have to keep nothing closed.
Brilliant. Thank you, Helen. I'm going to move on to you, if I may.
Is this working? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be really, really quick. And the first opportunity that I'm going to say is to come to the pub with us afterwards so that we can all talk about more stuff, and we're going to go to the food hall across the road. So come for a pint and we'll talk about stuff. The other thing is to say go to the visit to Farmstar and Glevelands tomorrow, because then you can learn loads about local organic growing and all that we do here. And then I will just talk super brief. I mean, and basically what we try and do is support new growers as Kindling Trust, support new growers well, they're creating their own opportunities. I feel really excited to see new growers here and farm starters here, and the determination to make a go of growing, and they're doing really well, and the hunger to learn. And I think that's amazing. And what we try and do is sort of support that journey that people are on, and try and make it possible for them to make a living by creating a fair market. So we're really supported by Unicorn, and we also have VegBox people and Manchester Veg people as cooperatives that try and kind of do that to make it possible to make a living. And on the other side, also making food accessible to more people so that it's not just an ecologically just system, but a socially just food system. And that's the journey that we're all on. And we do that through various training courses, which Helen Dodd will talk about tomorrow, through Farmstar, the commercial organic growers course, and through access to land, and just trying to create a low risk environment for people to kind of scale up their growing skills and create their business models. And just to very quickly say, we're also with one of the things I'm really excited about is we've just done a community shares campaign to raise investment to buy Kindling Farm, which is a 100+ acre agroforestry farm that would be community owned. And I think that basically we raised, our target was between 390 and 650,000 in community shares, and we raised over $1 million, and people invested small amounts, got together as groups to invest, and invested when they've never invested before, and didn't even necessarily have an engagement with us. I think that's a really exciting thing. I think it's been a real struggle for a lot of us this year, and a lot of you, I should imagine as well. It's been a really hard 18 months, and it is scary to think people have got a lot to spend their money on. Are they going to carry on spending money on organic foods? But actually, I think what this said to us was yes, they are. People want to invest in a fairer food system and invest in an organic food system. And the last thing I want to say is, I think a really big opportunity for all of us is to learn from each other. There's an absolutely enormous wealth of experience and knowledge in this room and in this movement, and I do think it's an organic movement. Already, I know Lawrence said earlier he wants to call it a movement again. I think it is, and we've learned loads and been supported loads by all of you. So a really huge thank you for that to all of you, for all the help that we've had to get where we are. And just to say, if there's anything I was going to say to new growers, is make the most of these people, because they have huge brains and loads of experience. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Come to the pub, let's chat about it more.
Wonderful, Helen. Thank you so much. Yes, Helen has absolutely done my job for me there in advertising. No, absolutely, the more the merrier. Just in case you missed it, the farms are Farm Start, and thank you, Helen Dodds, for hosting that, and Gleveland's Organic Produce, and thank you to Dan Lark. So I'm going to bring the conference to a close now. Traditionally, somebody stands up here and tries to pull together all the threads of the conference and come out with some key points. I have always found that incredibly difficult to do with such a diverse and wide-ranging discussion. But I will just go back to the theme. So, you know, we asked at the beginning, does organic matter? And I think certainly we've had a lot of people who are saying absolutely it matters. Reminding where organic farming started, the principles that it's based in, the holistic approach in the very, very real sense of all things that were true then, and really is what makes organic so important right now. We also had quite a lot about doing things better. I think the session, mostly in the underball room, was very much about looking at contentious issues and looking about improving things, looking about improving sustainability. And I think from a personal point of view, I'm particularly pleased to see the launch of the Robust Potato Pledge, which is a really example of how we can bring all parts of the supply chain together to move forward and get closer to the organic principles on which all our businesses depend and are based. And I think also, you know, there's farmer to farmer and grower to grower exchange. That's such an important part of what the OGA is and does. You know, there's some great knowledge exchange going on that. So I think it remains for me just to say a few thank yous. I would like to go back to the beginning of the conference and reiterate Ben's thanks to our sponsors, our main sponsors, DJX and Riverford, the people who sponsored the live stream, that's the Biodynamic Agricultural College, Chelsea Green Publishing, Real Seeds and Unicorn Grocery, thank you. Other sponsors and businesses are Cower at Coventry University, Leary's Organic Seeds, OF&G, Organic North, the Sea Cooperative, Ski Organics, Treffler, and the Vegan Organic Network. And as I say, it's your support that enabled us to put this on. It's your support that gave us the confidence to go ahead with this event at a quite difficult time. So thank you. This, of course, is a conference organised in partnership. So thank you to our partners. Thank you to Agroecology, who did all the filming in the underhall for us, to the CSA Network UK, the Ecological Land Cooperative, Innovative Farmers, Kindling Trust, again, Landworkers Alliance, and the Organic Research Centre, and the Soil Association. In particular, I'd like to thank Ben from the Soil Association for all that he has put in. That. Of course, this conference has been the live streaming side of this conference has been really important to enable people who wouldn't be able to make it here in person to attend. So thank you to Harry Wheeler Film and Photography and all your team. You guys have done a great job. Thank you. That's grand. Good. And I'm going to leave my biggest thank you to last. I think most of you will appreciate that putting on a conference like this involves a colossal amount of work. And there's a team within the OGA and the working groups who have pulled it all together. In particular, Phil Sumption and Holly Jarvis, you guys have put an enormous amount of work into this, and we really, really thank you. And anybody who I've left off that list, please speak now so I don't let people leave without thanking you. That's, thank you so much. The volunteers, yes, volunteers, you've made this work. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. That's Good. And with that, it remains me to thank you for all coming, whether you are in person here in the hall or online. And those of you who have journeys home, safe journey back.